On my wedding day, Xu Mei hanged herself. My husband thought she died for love, unable to bear his marriage to me. He never knew she didn't love him at all. For 10 years, we lived as polite strangers in a hollow marriage. When he died in battle, his final wish was not to be buried with me, leaving only Xu Mei's silver hairpin. In my past life, I was obsessed with Zhao Heng. I risked my life to save her from drowning, yet received only 10 years of cold neglect as the Marquise's living dead wife. Upon my rebirth, as Zhao Peng fell into the water, I stopped. Watching her by the lake, I simply leaned against a willow tree. In the water, he struggled and stared at me, desperate for rescue. The attendants panicked.
Miss Wei, please save the young master! Everyone knows you're famous in the capital for being a strong swimmer!
I looked away, sighing with anxious helplessness. You're mistaken. My half-sister is the swimmer, not me. The servants stood wide-eyed. Just then, they saw Wanning in the pavilion. I pointed excitedly at the lady in pink. My sister is right there. Ask her. She'll surely save the master. The servants thanked me and ran to the pavilion. I was too far to hear, but Wanning seemed to refuse them, likely fearing for her reputation. Suddenly, he looked at me with a panicked expression, gesturing and muttering nervously, probably trying to push this mess back onto me. Wanning lifted her skirt and slowly made her way to the lakeshore. She took off her shoes, ready to go into the water, but after hesitating for a moment, she put them back on, looking troubled. In the end, she still walked over to me, her brows furrowed and her tone full of reproach. Sister, you're clearly such a good swimmer. Why aren't you saving him? I put on a conflicted expression. It's not that I don't want to save him. It's just that I haven't been in the water for so long. I'm out of practice and afraid that if I go in, I might actually waste precious time needed to save someone. I quickly added, Sister, you're a much better swimmer than I am. I'm sure you'd be willing to save her, right? He stared at me in a daze, his eyes full of confusion. But sister, haven't you always had a crush on the heir? I instantly froze on the spot. He wasn't wrong. I really had liked Zhao Heng since I was a child. In my previous life, when he fell into the lake, I didn't think twice, and jumped in right away, using my frail body to desperately pull him back from the hands of death. At that time, we were both soaked through, pressed so close together, it was as if we weren't wearing any clothes at all. The onlookers pointed and whispered, gossiping non-stop. Of course I knew what they were talking about, nothing but a woman's reputation and chastity, but I couldn't care less. Saving his life was all that mattered. That time I saved him. I nearly died, delirious with a high fever. The imperial physician barely saved me. After I recovered, rumors spread. To my father, reputation mattered more than life. Just as he planned to send me to a nunnery, the Marquis of Anpinghou proposed for his son. Lavish gifts filled our courtyard. Zhao Heng looked pale and indifferent then. I naively thought he was just ill. 3 months later, we married. The capital celebrated our wedding day, but that night, Zhao Heng's expression. He only spoke to me in a sarcastic tone.
Miss Wei saved me that day just to force me to marry you.
I froze, like a knife to the chest.
What a masterful move born of fear.
He essentially called me manipulative. I wanted to argue, but was too upset to speak. After a long silence, I finished the ceremony and entered the bridal chamber. His attitude was cold and loveless. The night was unpleasant for us both. The next morning, news came that Wanning had hanged herself before dawn. I was stunned. I never imagined my strong-willed sister would take her own life. From then on, Zhao Heng and I grew cold. Every time we shared a bed, it felt like official business, lifeless and mechanical. Though he despised me, he treated me with the courtesy due between husband and wife, yet no real affection existed. 10 years passed this way, until he went to the border and died in a barrage of arrows. When his body returned, my heart felt torn apart as I wailed over his coffin. Then I saw him clutching a silver hairpin. I finally understood his coldness. It was all because of Wanning. That hairpin was a unique piece made by Wanning's own mother. Zhao Heng truly loved him, and my love was a joke. Heartbroken, I learned his last words. He refused burial with me, wanting only to rest with that silver hairpin. I fulfilled his wish, burying him by Wanning's grave so they could be together forever. Given a second chance, I won't repeat my mistakes. He wants me to save someone, but I refuse to fall for it. Instead, I just sigh. That was all in the past. Since the heir doesn't love me, why should I go out of my way to make a fool of myself? Zhao Heng was sinking deeper and deeper in the water, his cries for help growing weaker. The noble ladies nearby began to criticize me, saying that a life was at stake. How could I still care about my reputation? Miss Wen, didn't you save a child just a few days ago? At that time you seemed to be a pretty good swimmer. The others all started chiming in as well. Yes, I saw it with my own eyes that day too. I sneered inwardly and didn't take it to heart at all. It seemed like all of them wanted to force me into the water to get soaked. I pretended to be troubled, looked at them, and forced a smile. Fine, I'll go save him. Wanning had a triumphant look on her face, but just as I turned around, I rolled my eyes and fainted cleanly and decisively right on the spot. The next day, I woke up naturally, and only then did I ask my maid, who exactly saved the young lord yesterday? Huiju couldn't help but burst out laughing. Miss, it was Miss Wanning who saved him yesterday. You should have seen his expression at that moment. It was even worse than if he'd swallowed a fly. After I pretended to faint that day, everyone had no choice but to force Wanning to go save him. At first, of course, she absolutely refused, but the onlookers spoke sharply, leaving her with nothing to say. They told her that saving a life was more important than anything else. Besides, that was the young lord. If you don't save him, you'd better watch out, or the empress herself might come for your head. Zhao Heng's aunt is the current empress, so no matter how bold Wanning is, she didn't dare offend them either. After a struggle, Wanning had to enter the lake to save him. Hearing this, I sighed in relief. I finally united these lovers, making up for my past life. In March, as spring returns, nature blooming, I planned to have a good meal when I heard my parents shouting in anger.
You've really brought shame to the Wei family. A girl's reputation. Just like that, you've ruined it.
Wanning sobbed, clutching father's shirt. Father, I had no choice. If sister hadn't fainted, I wouldn't have. My father was furious and slapped her. Her cheeks swelled up instantly.
How dare you blame your sister? Knowing her reputation matters, she faked fainting. Why couldn't you?
Wanning stammered, unable to speak. My father, refusing to hear nonsense, immediately ordered 20 lashes. Amidst screams for mercy, the sound of the whip was sickening. Father was truly furious, and showed no mercy. After 20 lashes, Wanning passed out. Exhausted, father threw the whip aside and sat down. He is getting older and lacks his former strength. Even after the beating, he sat gasping for breath until he finally recovered. Then he had Wanning thrown into the woodshed for 3 days without food, ignoring family ties. Watching her suffer, I felt nothing. In my previous life, I took that beating. I was whipped until bleeding, and the shed crawled with insects. Terrified, I hid in the corner crying for help, but ignored. I could only curl up and wait, parched and longing for water. I had to lift the blanket and found that rats were gnawing on my legs, probably drawn by the smell of blood from my wounds. I lit a torch to drive the rats away. I tore off a piece of my undergarment and tightly wrapped my wounds. Not that it helped much, but at least it kept the rats off. That's how I endured those 3 days in terror. When I was finally let out, I was so thin I was barely human. My whole body reeked, and everyone who passed by avoided me. Wanning, at the time, covered her nose with a look of disgust and said, "Sister, you're so filthy." Reeking of filth, I didn't say a word at the time. I just quietly went to bathe. Now, Wanning is in the woodshed, crying almost hysterically, pounding on the door and shouting, "Open the door! Let me out! Father, I really know I was wrong. Rats! So many rats! Help! There are bugs everywhere in here. I'm so scared." The guards felt like a cage again. After 3 days, the Marquise of Anpinghou's household arrived with boxes of gifts just like before. Only this time, Wanning was the bride. He must be thrilled to finally marry his love. Zhao Heng's proposal saved Wanning's reputation, solving my father's worries. Plus, the Marquis's high status would bring honor to the Wei family. It was a win-win. Everyone was beaming. They released Wanning, and both families settled the marriage pleasantly. As they left, the Marquis asked for Wanning's birth details for compatibility. Seeing his joy, I recalled my past life. Back then, my ruined reputation meant the Marquis proposed only out of obligation. Looking miserable, Zhao Heng fought the marriage fiercely, quarreling with his family, which made the Marquis cold and resentful during the proposal. On the night of the wedding, Wanning chose to take her own life. Zhao Heng firmly believed that Wanning loved him so deeply that she couldn't bear to watch him marry me, so she sought death. But the truth was nothing like what she thought. Everything she did was to cling to the current crown prince. In her previous life, she didn't save Zhao Heng, and even pushed me forward, all because she wanted to preserve her reputation and become the crown princess. In the end, the crown prince was secretly building his own power, and ultimately decided to marry the prime minister's daughter, Wanning. By then, Wanning had already given herself to the crown prince, and was even pregnant with his illegitimate child. To hide the scandal, my parents found a minor magistrate. Wanning refused to marry him. Seeing me marry into the Marquis's house while she wed a lowly official, she grew envious. To keep Zhao Heng's love and make him hate me, she risked her life to frame me. She succeeded. Zhao Heng never forgot her. She became his obsession, and he even broke rules to be with her. Later, I visited the bedridden Wanning. Seeing her, I saw my past self, so frail and weak. Her complexion was sallow, and her body was so thin she was almost unrecognizable. I straightened my clothes, pretended to be very concerned, and slowly walked over to sit by her bedside. "Sister, are you feeling any better now?" She glared at me with hatred, gritting her teeth. "Sister, stop pretending to cry here, like a mouse feigning kindness." I put on an innocent face. "Why do you say that?" She lifted her head to look at me, her eyes filled with nothing but hatred. "You still ask why? That day you clearly. As for why I didn't save him, I explained unhurriedly. Why should I save him? A woman's reputation and saving a stranger, which is more important? I do understand that much. Wanning let out a cold laugh and mocked. Everyone in the city knows you've been infatuated with the young lord since you were little. With such a good opportunity, would you really let it slip by? I glanced at the medicine beside me, picked it up and stirred it. Sister, you must be mistaken. I've never said I liked him. But I've heard people say that you and he are actually a perfect match. Now is the perfect time to bring you two together. Who knows, maybe you'll become a legendary couple for the ages. Wanning's face turned deathly pale, and she was speechless for a long time. What she truly longed for was the position of crown princess. Zhao Heng had instructed her to climb higher, and she had been using this backup all along. She stammered, her gaze flickering. Sister, get some more rest. When the good day comes, you can go and become the young lord's wife in grand style. As I walked out the door, the peach blossoms in the courtyard had fallen to the ground, turning into spring mud. Even beautiful flowers eventually turned to dust. Porcelain shattered inside as Wanning screamed. In high spirits, I returned to my courtyard. Zhao Heng hurried over, his sleeves flapping, losing his usual poise. To avoid trouble, I decided to stay away. I tried to slip inside my room, but a hand grabbed my arm. Unwilling to talk, I sighed and turned around. Zhao Heng looked anxious. I finally saw how gentle he is when he loves someone. His past coldness toward me was just a formality. I quietly left to avoid intruding, but in the garden, he called me again. Annoyed, I wondered why he kept haunting me. Does the heir have other business? He hesitated, then asked, why didn't you save me when I fell in the water? I was surprised. He blocked my path just to ask about that rescue. It wasn't that I didn't want to save you that day. Being able to save you would have been an honor. It's just that it was too hot that day, and my body couldn't handle it. Plus, I had just rescued a drowning child a few days before, and I hadn't fully recovered yet. I fainted from heat stroke. I hope your highness can be magnanimous and not hold it against me. Besides, you and Wanning have always liked each other, and now that the engagement has been proposed, you can finally be together. This is truly a case of lovers finally becoming family. It was truly something worth celebrating. He stood there in a daze, surprised by my words. Zhao Heng lowered his head, his expression turning gloomy. As he raised his hand, I immediately stepped back. My attitude of keeping him at arm's length took him by surprise. He muttered something, held himself back and gave a self-mocking, bitter smile.
Miss Wei now avoids me at all costs.
I felt a bit uneasy, sensing she was testing me. Could it be that she has also been reborn? But on second thought, it is unlikely. If he had been reborn, he would have learned to swim instead of just sitting in the water waiting to die. That incident ruined his reputation, becoming a thorn in his heart. Relieved, I looked into his eyes and calmly replied, Your Highness is my brother-in-law. We must keep our distance to avoid rumors. He let out a cold laugh.
As heir, rumors don't faze me. My clear conscience fears no ghosts.
He paused for a moment and observed me carefully.
You weren't this timid and cautious before. Could it be that you have something shameful on your mind?
A smug, mischievous smile touched his lips. Your Highness, you're overthinking it. His gaze chilled, his voice dropping low.
I remember you used to have a crush on me, didn't you?
I froze, so he always knew. He still thought so ill of me. Back then, he believed I wanted to humiliate Wanning, ignoring my explanations, which turned our relationship cold and beyond repair. I looked into his eyes. I was young then. Those feelings are dead. Please show respect so Wanning isn't hurt. As I finished, she stared at me, glaring sharply.
It's completely different from the past.
People always change. No one can stay in the same place forever. I really can't figure out what your highness is implying. Qinghe Tianben asks for your highness's forgiveness. He stopped arguing and turned away with a flick of his sleeve. At this moment, the sun had already set in the west, and the remaining sunlight cast a long shadow behind him, making his upright figure look even lonelier and more desolate. Speaking so ambiguously, could it be that you and sister? Is he trying to force me into coveting my brother-in-law? A hopeless situation of stealing love with a drawn sword, ruining my reputation. He really is as wicked as he was in the previous life. How could I just stand by and let him pin the blame on me? I was just about to clear things up when Zhao Heng cut me off.
It was just something I heard from a servant while training with young Master Wei.
Wanning started to get suspicious, but Zhao Heng shot him a fierce glare, his menacing side fully revealed. Wanning was instantly intimidated and began to sob softly. Brother Heng, I just care about you too much, and was afraid of losing you. Father and eldest brother hurried over to smooth things over, and only then did the situation calm down. They sent Zhao Heng away, and then father called me back. He looked at me with a heavy expression, sighed, and then earnestly tried to persuade me.
Qinghe,
Earlier, everyone in the capital knew that you had your eye on Zhao Heng.
now that he has become Wanning's prospective fiancé, you must follow the rules and absolutely must not do anything out of line.
I've had no dealings with Zhao Heng, nor will I ever. Father didn't say much more. He simply had someone bring a picture album. Inside were portraits of the capital's eligible bachelors. Seeing father's serious gaze, I knew his intent. Amidst the trouble, he wanted me married off quickly.
Qinghe, now that you've completed your coming-of-age ceremony, it's time to find a suitable family and arrange a good marriage for you.
I nodded to show that I understood.
These are the eligible young masters from prominent families in the capital. I've already looked them over for you as your father. This is the eldest son of the Duke Xiao's family.
Nightly, I flipped through them, sighing. The scroll showed unattractive men, nothing more. Looking through them only highlighted the gap. None matched Zhao Heng. Though heartless, he was handsome. At the last page, my hand froze. It was Ji Yu, the top scholar. In my past life, after Zhao Heng died, he stayed by my side. Back then, I was distraught, even suicidal. He always dragged me back to the mortal world. I cursed him as a scoundrel, but he laughed carelessly, unlike the refined scholar I expected.
You tried to die, but I stopped you. Clearly fate had already decided that your time was not yet up. So Madam Hu, from now on, you must live a long life, safe and happy.
I was stunned. I realized she was right. She kept saving me. Clearly, heaven didn't want me yet, so I gave up on dying. Her daily support eased my worries, and slowly, love grew. But we never crossed that line. Neither of us ever married. After 12 years, he fell ill and died. His aide brought me his final words, and only then did I realize he had loved me all along. By then, it was too late. To protect me, Wu Yu saw Zhao Heng as a rival. But Jieyu always resolved the danger. I survived my suicide attempts only because Jieyu had people watching over me, fearing I'd do something reckless. He had devoted his life to me. We promised to grow old together, so now I will find you, Jieyu. I sketched his face, then told my father, let's name Jieyu the third-place scholar. My father was stunned.
Think carefully. His background is worse than the others.
I'd decided. Father, I've chosen him. He had to agree. Though hidden, he favored Jieyu most, having praised his wisdom and bravery as a rare hero. He stayed calm, yet a small smile showed. Father, how is my judgment? He stammered, words faltering.
It's settled then. As your father, I know many ladies in the capital admire him. You must hold on to him yourself.
Yu Wenjun invited Jieyu to the Lotus Pavilion. I wore my Baihua Tower gown with plum and bamboo patterns, a golden hairpin, and a jade pendant. In my previous life, he loved this dress. Seeing me, he would flush with shyness. It is hard to say if that same charm remains. As I walked softly toward the Lotus Pavilion, my jade pendant jingled with every movement. Jieyu stood and bowed bashfully, but my father, on the other hand, got straight to the point.
My daughter is of age. The top scholar is gifted and fair, so I propose a match.
Before I could even purse my lips, Jieyu immediately chimed in.
Xiaoshu wants to marry you. Honestly, Lord Wei, I also plan to propose next month.
Fate seemingly accelerated everything. Jieyu quickly prepared betrothal gifts, energetically managing his residence. Though the formal presentation was modest, he finally felt doted on. 3 days later at the polo match, Zhao Heng and Jieyu took the field. Jieyu, usually feigning illness, eagerly joined. Noblemen galloped. Zhao Heng nearly scored, but Jieyu swiftly snatched the ball. Zhao Heng tried reclaiming it, but Jieyu skillfully evaded him. At the critical moment, Jieyu won the first round. In the second, Zhao Heng leveled the score. By the third, Zhao Heng became overconfident, allowing Jieyu to clinch the win. This spectacular polo match so delighted the emperor that he rewarded Jieyu immediately.
Your Majesty, I do not want any reward. I only ask that you grant me a marriage. Oh, my loyal subject Z, who has always kept his distance from women, has finally been moved.
Jieyu stared at me without the slightest hesitation.
Your Majesty, please grant me marriage with the Wei family's third daughter.
Sideline guests whispered. The beaming emperor set the wedding. Zhao Heng turned ashen, staring at me in shock. I avoided his gaze. He knelt in embarrassment.
Nephew also wishes to request a marriage grant. You want one too? Today is truly a day of double happiness. Who do you wish to marry? Could it be the 5th young lady of the Wei family?
Zhao Heng stammered and hesitated, speaking with a stutter.
Nephew earnestly begs to marry Miss Wei-san.
Immediately, the entire hall fell silent. The emperor's face was unreadable, but his voice was heavy, resenting Zhao Heng.
If I recall correctly, you were already engaged to Miss Wei Wu, weren't you?
His Majesty was furious.
Then what makes you think you have the face to ask for another marriage? Wei Qinghe is Wanning's elder sister.
Zhao Heng fell to the ground, trembling and dropping his spear.
I take Miss Wei-san as my wife and promise Qinghe will never suffer.
Fuming, I just wanted this over. We already hate each other. It was time to end this with some dignity. Her Majesty sensed the tension, gripped my hand and asked, Qinghe, who do you like? I knelt and replied firmly, Your Majesty, I love Lord Z. Zhao Heng was utterly shocked.
What? That's impossible! You clearly—
Before Zhao Heng finished, the Empress's attendants dragged him away. The incident stirred the capital and reached the Wei residence. Wanning was in a frenzy, wrecking the house. Vases shattered noisily. How dare she covet my things? Shameless, she cursed. I refused to indulge her, kicked open the door, and exhaled sharply at her cheek. Lacking manners, I harshly scolded my elder sister, saying she shamed our Wei family. She just grinned foolishly, her eyes vacant. You stole your sister's fiancé, who has truly brought shame to our name. My anger surged. I slapped her hard and threw her before our parents. Wanning collapsed on the ground, tears streaming down her face as she sobbed, unable to catch her breath.
Dad, why does Big Sister always have to compete with me for everything? She even wants to take Brother Heng away. I was born just for him, and I absolutely can't lose him. I beg you, Father, please help me.
Don't pity her. Left with no choice, they met Zhao Heng to settle the wedding quickly. But unexpectedly, Zhao Heng was cold and miserable, unlike his former self.
If you want me, Wanning, that's not impossible, unless you have Qinghe marry into the family as well.
Dad was fuming.
Born after Wanning, not unwanted. This injustice is unneeded.
After the Qin family broke up early the next morning, Zhao Heng stopped me. His eye sockets were bruised, his face was haggard and lifeless, his whole demeanor dispirited. But the moment he saw me, his face lit up with joy. He gripped my wrist tightly, his eyes full of affection.
Qinghe, don't go keep Xi Yuxin company, okay?
I brushed past him coldly. I don't understand this nonsense. Ziyu and I are long engaged, so I cannot marry another. He let go in despair, then flared up in shame.
Didn't you say you were in love with me? Didn't you say you wouldn't be with anyone but me?
His words can't stir me in the slightest. My expression remains as calm as still water. All of that is old news. Things have changed, and the deep feelings I once had for you have long since been worn away by the passage of time. Now, as far as I'm concerned, you and I are mere passers-by. Zhao Heng stood dazed, only later realizing the truth. That day, he rushed to the palace to beg the emperor to withdraw the decree. The furious emperor locked him out, but Zhao Heng knelt before the throne, blocking his path. Enraged, the emperor ordered 30 strokes. Zhao Heng was beaten bloody, but refused to beg for mercy. Empress Zhao sent him home. For half a month, his wounds kept him bedridden. After Wanning died, despite his parents' efforts, he kept sneaking out. Eventually, the weary elders let him be, hoping he would recover. He then broke into the palace again to plead with Her Majesty. Having no choice, she summoned me. These calls always concerned Zhao Heng. I would let my father handle it, saying a few words so he could leave. Her Majesty simply advised me to think things through. Soon Zhao Heng began getting drunk outside our home daily, loudly demanding to see me. When I refused, he banged on the door relentlessly. Neighbors complained, urging us to end his delusions. This time, I met him to reason with him kindly. This time, he finally let go, tears streaming down his face, his reason already pushed to the brink of collapse.
Qinghe, you've come back again too, haven't you?
I stayed silent, and he kept talking.
The truth is, I never truly understood my own feelings. Even after death, I kept wandering around you, unable to regret the mistakes you made in the past. I know the wounds I gave you can never be healed, but in this life, could you give me a chance to make amends?
I feel weak and low.
Late.
He rambled on, unable to accept it. Turns out, he truly cared for me all along, but mistook his feelings for Wanning. Believing he owed her, he distanced himself, but living together, he fell for me again. Guilt-ridden, he left to guard the border for years. Frustrated and longing for home, he finally returned to the capital, after the last battle. I never expected the enemy's trap. Before I died, he took out Wanning's hairpin, but staring at it, he was thinking only of me. He finally realized he loved me, but it was too late. He begged for a second chance, but I wasn't moved. My soul had long since left him. Hearing this, he collapsed and wept. From then on, he let go and stopped troubling me. 3 months later, I married Ziyu. The Z residence was lavishly decorated and full of guests. On our wedding night, he lifted my veil. The moment he saw me, he looked at me with pure love.
Qinghe Chisu, you are truly a gentleman.
My cheeks grew hot as I looked away. Xiaoyu lifted my chin and kissed me, pulling the gauze curtains closed around us. Clothes were cast aside as candles flickered in the breeze. In the end, Zhao Heng married Wanning after being threatened with his life. Once inside, her domineering temper was fully revealed, causing chaos by punishing servants and leaving the servants terrified and the residents in turmoil. Zhao Heng found himself utterly fed up with the situation. He spent all day drinking at the tavern, making Wanning even more unrestrained. She led people to the brothel, catching him and Zhao Heng just drinking without betraying her. Yet she relentlessly pestered him and even resorted to violence. Siggy was on edge every day, always anxious, which eventually led to a miscarriage. The physician declared she would never conceive again. Her temper became explosive, feeling that everyone mocked her for being a hen that couldn't lay eggs, and she beat servants for no reason. The Marquis of Anping needed an heir, and decided Zhao Heng should seek a concubine. When Wanning found out, she threatened her life and made a scene. Out of consideration for their reputation, they had to give up. 10 years passed after that. Zhao Heng fled for his life of his own accord, and stationed troops beyond the frontier. He fought desperately on the battlefield, winning military honors one after another. The great Yue Emperor summoned him to the capital to reward him, but in the final battle, he was struck by a volley of arrows and died in the desert. When news came that his war drum was being brought back to the mansion, it already reeked of sour rot. Wanning was disgusted by the stench and kept far away, afraid of catching bad luck. By chance, she caught a glimpse of the handkerchief Zhao Heng had clutched in death, and saw that a lotus was embroidered on its surface. She realized it was her own handiwork. Accompanying Zhao Heng to his death, he was buried not with her, but with her handkerchief. Furious, she hanged herself from the main beam above her desk, leaving behind a blood-written letter that read, "Zhao Lang, you have wronged me. I never again walked down the wrong path, but who would have thought he would end up locked in my old place?" In just 3 days, he looked several years older, with heavy dark circles under his eyes. He probably hadn't slept for days. I looked down at the hand he was using to hold mine, then pretended to be very surprised and looked up at him. Startled, he quickly let go, his gaze darting everywhere. I tried my best to stay calm and not give anything away. "Your Highness must be here to see my younger sister, Wanning." He opened his mouth as if he had a lot to say, but not a single word came out. He could only nod, so I took the opportunity to lead him to Wanning's room. As soon as Zhao Heng appeared at the door, Wanning started to cry, putting on a pitiful act. "Brother Heng," she sobbed, lifting her sleeve as she cried, deliberately revealing the marks on her arm. Zhao Heng looked utterly shocked and quickly grabbed her hand. "Wanning, how did this happen?" Wanning, eyes red, complained to him with a wronged expression. Zhao Heng gently brushed her messy hair behind her ear.
Wanning hurts from the beating.
She lifted Wanning's arm and gently blew on it, being extremely careful, afraid of hurting her.
If she blows on the wound, it'll feel better. Dad's done drinking, and our engagement date is coming soon. Don't worry. Just wait for me to come marry you.
Wanning, with tears in her eyes, replied softly. After that moment, Zhao Heng often came to the Wei family, not just to play chess with my father, but also to spar with my older brother. Gradually, our relationship grew closer. Lately, I've been avoiding him as much as possible, hoping not to run into him. At noon, he was sparring with my brother, and got so absorbed that before he knew it, it was time for the meal. My parents invited him to dine with us. The new servant didn't know that I can't have mushrooms and placed them in front of me. Just as I was about to stand up and move the dish away, Zhao Heng quickly took the mushrooms away first. He furrowed his brows tightly and began scolding the servant.
Qinghe can't have mushrooms. Are you blind? Are you trying to harm him on purpose?
He looked furious. The maid trembled under his rage. I was stunned. How did he know mushrooms make me sick? Was Zhao Heng reborn too? It doesn't matter. Cutting ties is what's important. Wanning glared at me, shocked. Brother Heng, how do you know sister can't have mushrooms? I never told you that. She burst into tears, looking at Zhao piteously.